Hi, and welcome to my channel, OG Stars, and it is Tuesday Lore Day, and we are covering book one of the Han Solo Trilogy, Paradise Snare, and this is one of my favorite trilogies. It's not up there, necessarily up there like some are, or some series are, but I love how how AC Crispin shares with us Han Solo in his early years of life. And in this novel, he also has reflections of when he was found at between the age of 2 and 5 by Garrus Shrike, and how he was treated during that time frame, how he wanted to become a pilot as well, and how he was teased about that. So I thought that was really neat on how we get to see Han reflect back in his younger years of life. And in this novel, he is 19 years old. And so we begin with this novel of him being under Shrike's care. And Garrus Shrike is basically a crime lord. He used to be a smuggler. Now he's a crime lord, and he uses orphans to help serve him in cheating the rich and panhandling and all that, and taking advantage of the rich as well. And Han Solo was a part of that. And Han Solo is also a swoop, a racer, not a pod racer, but a swoop racer as well. So that goes into his piloting skills as well in this novel. And under Shrike's care, and I use that word loosely in this, a Wookiee befriends and takes care of Han Solo, and her name is Dulana. So we get an understanding on how and why Han knows or understands Wookiee or Sheri-Wook language. So humans in the original lore can understand it, but necessarily can't speak it. So it's just genetics between the vocal cords and between humans and Wookiees. And then Wookiees themselves, like Dulana, she learned how to understand basic, but really necessarily couldn't speak it. And so we have that, which gives us understanding how Han can understand Chewie, which that was not really a question. We understood that they were really close anyways in the movies. So, but this expands on it, and I said the word expands on that beautifully. And Han does end up leaving or escaping from Shrike and his organization. And in that process, Dulana gives her life so that Han can escape. And during his journey, he does, and his escape, he does go to a planet, Yisila, where he finds work and discovers that there is a cult there that imprisons species as slaves. And these species don't realize what's going on. Or people, the species there, like even humans, don't realize that they are being used as slaves by this group of aliens or species. And I'm not going to get too much into that. But they are related to the Hutts. That species are like cousins to the Hutts as well, the Hutt species as well. And so we have that. And in that journey where Han's on that planet, he meets his first love, and that's Bria Theron. And from there, he, starts falling for her. And when he escapes, he does convince her to go. But she eventually falls back into the clutch, because the pheromones that they produce is addictive. And she's addicted to being under that control because of the pheromones. And so that's the beginning of their story together in the series, and it does get significant as we go along in the trilogy. And from there, after he escapes, he does take on smuggling, and in his adventures of smuggling, we also get that he is searching for the closest family, because someone in his care, and I'm not giving too much spoilers on this as well, but I am giving spoilers somewhat, and we'll discuss this further in coffee chat. So the planet that is closest to him, because he's seeking help, is Alderaan. And so what's very significant about that is that he gets to see Leia for the first time, even though in this story he has no idea the significance she's going to be in his life in the movies and in forward after post Return of the Jedi. So I think this was an interesting little nod thing to put in by A.C. Crispin in the novelization Paradise Snare. So we're going to take a listen to the clip. And
Han scanned star charts, then his finger stabbed down. Okay, here we go. Before long, the world he'd chosen was growing in his view screens. It was lovely, hanging blue and white and tan against the night blackness of space. His fingers clicked on the comm unit, and the vid screen filled with an image of a kindly-looking man with a little dark-haired girl sitting on his lap. Han was startled and realized that this message was pre-recorded and played to every ship on an approach vector. A voiceover identified the man. His Majesty, Bail Prester Organa, Viceroy and First Chairman. The man smiled into the screen. Greetings. On behalf of myself and my people, I bid you welcome to Alderaan. Han listened with half his attention as the man continued with the vid message. As many of our visitors are already aware, Alderaan is a peaceful world, a world where we have eschewed weapons and their use. While you are our guest, we ask that you respect our traditions and our laws by leaving your weapons with the Port Authority during your stay here. You will find that Alderaan has much to offer visitors. We have almost no crime. Right, Han thought, I'll just bet. And no pollution. Our lakes are clear, our air is pure, and our people are happy. We have wonderful museums, and we invite you to visit them. Be sure not to miss our grass paintings as you fly over them on your landing approach. Our grass painters are among the greatest artists in the galaxy. We welcome visitors to our beautiful world, and we ask only that you come in peace, and that you obey our... With a muttered curse, Han leaned over and snapped the audio portion of the broadcast off. A whole planet full of honest citizens? I'll believe it when I see it. The capital city of Alderaan.
so that was a pre-recording that Bell has sent out to any ships coming to the planet, and just letting them know, you know, we are a peaceful planet, you know, and have you. And it kind of gives information about how, it alludes to, you know, Alderaan being a peaceful planet and how it was, it turned against the Empire after destroying the planet because everybody knew it as a peaceful planet as well. And so another nod there, which I thought it was very significant as well. And then in Han Solo's journey in the novel, in this novel here, he, growing up, he never knew his last name, as Shrike knew who he was. And Dulana also got the information from Shrike. So eventually Dulana tells Han, and when Han leaves and he goes and searches for his family. And he finds his aunt Tyone Solo and Thraken Solo. And Thraken Solo is a bully, and he bullies Han, and in that time frame he's there, he kind of learns a little bit more about his family, about who his father was and what had happened, or his grandfather, I believe. Well, anyways, he finally learns about who his, you know, family is. And because Thraken has such a cruel heart and he's a bully, he basically gets a hold of Shrike and lets him know, hey, I have Han Solo here, come and get him. And so basically Shrike goes, gets Han Solo, and we know that Han Solo basically escapes from Shrike again, and from there, you know, his adventures begins in the novel as well. And towards the end of the novel, we have we have Han wanting to enlist in the Imperial Navy, and he finally does it. And so what I find interesting with that in all of this is that he enlists into the Navy, and I'm going to share the clip at the end of this so you can listen to it. But he enlists in the Navy, and he walks up and tells who he is, and basically he enrolls, and he is told that, you know, not everybody makes it through, which is basically common. in the military, I guess you can say. And because not everybody is qualified to, you know, be a pilot, be a soldier, you know, be in the military. And so Han, how determined he is, once he sets his mind to something, and we see this in his story arc from the movies and into the original lore, or the EU, is that once he sets his mind to something, he does it. So he enlists, he trains hard, he studies hard, it keeps his mind off of Bria, and he makes it in. And towards the end of that, Han has confrontation with Shrike. So in the confrontation, Shrike is killed and Han escapes and reports to duty, and his commanding officer asks him what happened, you know, to you. And so Han basically, you know, he never lies. And so he's like, if I lie, it's not going to do me any good. So he basically tells the truth, truth. And then he also says that, you know, that the person was mocking the Imperial Navy. And so he taught him a lesson, which Shrike has. And so that's not a lie as well. And so he reports to duty. And so that's the end of the novel. So we're going to go ahead and listen to the clip here. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you pick up this book here. We will discuss it in Thursday morning live coffee chat, along with chapter 2 of Tartakovsky's, and I'm saying it wrong again, and you know what I mean, but in Clone Wars 2003. So we're going to discuss chapter 2 for that Clone Wars as well. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I enjoy giving you these lore videos, and I hope it encourages you to pick up these books and to choose legends. Yes, I do have novels that has the legend banner on it, because I'm still building my library up and filling in the gaps with what I don't have. So again, thank you so much. The novel is Paradise Snare. If you are a big Han Solo fan, or just curious to see Han's development before the movies, this is a great trilogy. The next book is book 2.
His education had been spotty at best. Nisi the specialist had been worth every credit of his exorbitant fee. Han Solo now existed in the Imperial database, along with his retinal patterns. Han Solo now had IDs that were indistinguishable from those possessed by every loyal citizen of the Empire. For the first time in more than a decade, he was clean. Han Solo was a regular citizen, not a hunted fugitive. He still had Vic Drago's and Janos Adanian's IDs buried deep in a credit case, but he was simply waiting for a good chance to dispose of them. As he mounted the stone steps to the Hall of Admissions, Han's strides were sure and confident. He walked up to the human recruiting officer sitting behind the desk and smiled politely. "Hello, my name is Han Solo, and I'd like to apply for admission into the Imperial Academy." The clerk did not smile, but he was civil. "May I see your identification?" "Certainly." Han laid it on the desk. This will take a moment. Please take a seat." Han sat, feeling the tension, but telling himself he had nothing to be afraid of. Minutes later, the clerk handed his ID back to him and offered a smile. "Everything checks out, Solo. You can begin the application and testing process today. Are you aware that over 50% of the candidates are not accepted, and that 50% of those accepted never complete their course at the Academy?" "Yes, sir, I am. But I'm determined to try. I'm a good pilot." The man's smile was actually genuine for a moment. The Emperor needs good pilots.
So remember to like, subscribe, and share. Check out my merchandise. It does help with the channel and help with the development, and also just supports me as well. And may the Force be with you.